Hello and welcome back. We'll actually be building the UI Fry today, and this is just the deployed version of it. And we can already see the way it is looking nice and clean from the navigation downwards, so you can hover and see stuff like that. And this is actually the hero page that we have. When you hover over the button, you have that little effect right there. And this particular lesson is in two forms, right? So the first form, which I've built out for you guys, is the very straightforward one on how it would be like when you've not applied any form of like animation or anything to it. But you guys will actually let me know if you guys want like a separate lesson on how you can basically animate each of these dynamic components and so on. And we'll go over that in subsequent lessons. And also, when you actually scroll down a bit, we have this other section. Is actually the premium section. We have the image by the right and so on. Very basic stuff. And then we have the advantages section, right, with this one on the right hand side. And also, we have the fully customizable with this on the right hand side. Okay, we have the testimonial section where we have like a couple of guys green out here. We have, their comments and so on. Right, so we have the FAQ section that looks already opened. You don't need to like click on some sort of accordion to open it. It just comes as is. And finally, if I scroll down a bit, we have the get started section. You can see you can stick over right here. It's coming in as expected. And then finally, we have the footer where you can type into this particular input. All right, so this is actually something that we'll be building. This is the first stage of it. And if I show you guys how this looks on mobile, this should be cool. This we're checking it on iPhone SE, and if I check now, we basically have a very cleaner version. And if I click on here, you can see we have all of this looking nice and clean. So you can scroll up a bit, you can see all the fonts, nothing is too big, looks good as expected. And we have our title, nice and clean. And then you can see the FAQ section, still everything mobile responsive and nothing is going out of the scope or whatever. And then we have the footer. So this is something that I'll be building today. And without further ado, let's get started. But then before that, there's something I need to share with you guys. So if you're into animations and stuff like that, and you feel like, oh, you want to bring this particular platform to life yourself, there are actually cool resources you can explore. One of them is Animator. We have the motion primitives as well as this guy. You can actually go into each of them and just check out, how you can actually play around with numerous animations like the button. We could do something like this to just a lot of crazy things you can play around with. So check it out, and yeah, so this is how to go ahead just implementing animations for different components, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. Okay, and welcome back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build the UI Fry system, and the purpose of this is just for us to go through the design, with what we're having. And you can actually see that we have like different artwork, different images here and there, and then we have lots and lots of icons, right? And also we have, I think, the FAQ section, and we have this little kind of shape there. Yeah, so, and then we have this. So this is something that we'll actually be building out. I think I've already demoed this before. But for now, we're going to start off by actually going into the folder. You already have a link to this. And for you, you basically have to like switch into the starter branch, and you want to basically just clone, right? So even when you clone, you want to make sure that you're switching into the starter branch. So I'm just going to copy this link right here. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in here. You should already have like a folder or something, right? So yeah, so I'm just going to go open up one of my YouTube folder right here, and I'm going to toggle on my my terminal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the command git clone, and I'll paste the link right in there. So this is going to clone the repository so that I can have it locally within our system. And now it's already working, so it's trying to clone quickly. And boom, we're there. So I'm going to set it into the UI folder. And when I do ls, you can see I basically have all of these files. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to install all the packages by using the npm install command. And it's going to just install all the different packages for us. right? So this is actually a good thing. And then the next thing we do is we're just going to make sure that we open it up in our VS Code. I can go in here, just open it, and I can just open with code right here. So this is going to open up the code in our VS Code editor. And good, right? So basically have like all the different setup and so on. So when we start a new project like this, what I normally recommend is that first of all, you want to just take a look at the entire application, know the color scheme and the different assets and so on, and then you can be able to proceed to configure it within your project. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to first of all work on the color scheme, right? So we have black. Black seems to be like the major primary color for this particular application because we just see black everywhere, right? So yeah, so we basically have this as a black right here, and yeah, so we basically need to even know our font, right? So but then we just know that black is actually one of those primary colors that we're having, and which is a good thing, right? So I wouldn't want to, the color black and white are actually like default colors. You might be very careful not to label them quite as primary, right? So if you don't have like a completely black and white kind of application, right? So but then for this use case, we're going to use this as a primary color because any other color apart from black and white, you can use those as primary in the most sense. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Tailwind, the config.ts. In here, I'm going to scroll down. You can see the extend block. So I'm going to just add a new key right here called colors. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to do primary. Okay, I'm going to paste that in there as a primary color. Nice. Alright, so what else do we need? The rest, we basically know how just black, bunch of black and white. But this is actually the other primary color we just copied, so it's the same color, so that makes sense. Good, so those are the two things we need basically. That's just the only primary color we can set. And the next thing we do is to basically try to export the different assets that we have within the application. So I have this selected. I can click on export right here and click on preview. You can see we have the logo right here. So one thing I'm going to do though, I'm going to export this logo as 4x, right? So exporting it at at a greater x basically allows it to appear more sharper than the original original image, right? It's going to increase in size anyways, but this is something that you have to keep at the back of your mind. But many a time you want your logo to be as sharp as can be. So I'm just going to export group. All right, so it's going to export, and we're going to have all of this, right? So you're going to have, sorry, get back real quick. Going to have all of this. So I think I can just delete all of this, honestly, and delete. Yeah, just delete that. So we're basically focused on this. So yes, we're going to call this. I'm going to show you real quick. Let me show you. You can see how sharp the logo is. This is because of the way we're exporting it. All right, so I'm going to just rename this to logo. All right, nice. Okay. All right, so what else do we do? We have this little shape here. We have to select it. Okay, let's select that. We need to be able to grab the shape somehow. Sorry, let's close that. All right, we have to be able to select. Oh, there we go. Somehow it's been affected by the overlay effect. I'm going to move this away real quick, maybe to become better. Okay, I'm going to just click it a couple of times to be able to select. Okay, there we go. There we go. I have to just try to drag it, and then I had, yeah, it basically selected. All right, that's good. So this is actually the shape, and you can just export it anyhow you want to do it. It could be 4x, whatever, to have a much more sharper feel. Please do that. I'm going to export it quickly, and it's exporting now. Okay, there we go. Just be careful with all of this. You can see export it as 4x gave us like 3 MB. That's too much. But let's see if we do 1x. sorry, just 1x, and we export again. You can see we just have like 235. All right, so for cases like this doesn't really like matter much because it's just like, an image in the background, so it's fine for you to have 1x. All right, yeah, so it's actually very good for you to have 1x. Yeah, so I'm just going to reload this. All right, so yeah, there we go. So we're going to call this the shape, red shape. All right, so we're going to call that the red shape, and I'm going to undo real quick with all of this setup. Okay, good, all good, yeah. All right, so we have a bit of an icon here. We need to export this because we need that exact vector icon. So this is it here. Can't say because it's white. All right, so yeah, we're going to export our vector. I'm going to call this the arrow right icon. Okay, so then we have this play icon right here. I'm going to have this selected. I'm going to click on export, and there we go with the play. We could actually just use it as SVG here. So things like this, SVG as sharper. So we're going to export that, and where are we? There we go. And I'm just going to phrase this as we'll name this as play underscore icon. Alright, so this arrow right, I can just delete that, select it, and export it as SVG again. Okay, there we go. You toggle this to SVG and then you export it. And let's rename it again, arrow right underscore icon. Alright, so all good, looks good. Alright, so we have our arrow, we have our play button, and then play icon. Then we should be able to get our image. So you can see this image is actually like a bunch of different images like visibly in a group, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just grab the entire thing. Since we are not animating or anything, we could grab the entire image like this entire group. And what we're going to just click on the export, and then we have, oh, it's not coming in, right? So let's see why that is. So we have a frame. All right, so let's see. Okay, let's click on G, let's click on export again. Let's see. So we have to select the entire thing. You can hold down on the shift button, and you should be able to see quite a lot of all of these things. I'm going to do Ctrl G to group them all, and I will click on the export button. I can see all of this, right? So, but something is still missing. We have this guy missing. So Ctrl G again and export it. Okay, so we have all of those. But one thing I think that has not been thought about is the shape, the red shape at the bottom, right? So it's still not, it's not coming up as needed. Yeah, it's not coming up as needed here for some reason. Okay, so maybe we could actually have like our shape and position it in there, though. That's something we can do, right? So this is actually separate shape. Oh, I see it. It's here somewhere around before the download, right? So can undo real quick, and before the download there is a shape right there. There is a shape. Okay, so what I would do, I could grab the name, right? So I could grab this entire thing, take it. Oh, sorry. Oh, I just used Ctrl X, Ctrl Z to undo. So let me select them back quickly. And which other one? Let's group it like so, and take it. Okay, so we're missing the other guy. Okay, so this is good, and I'm going to select this. So selecting this gives us the group. So this is the name of the group. Okay, so we're back again. So we're going to continue, and the next thing we'll do now is that we've already taken note of the group ID, so it's easy for us to track. So I'm going to just undo all of this now, right? So I'm going to look for that group ID, right? So and then select it with alongside all of this. So I'm going to just put this here in the search. There's a search icon here, and click on that, then search for it. So you can see I'm having the group ID. So good, right? So now I can just hold the shift button down, and have both of them selected. Now I can do Ctrl G, and that should be able to group the entire item together. Voila, right? So basically that's everything that we're looking for. So you can see that we have all the items, including the small star at the bottom left, as well as the red shape. Or else we could just export this, right? So it's good to export this as 1x, not really critical. And you can do that now, and I'll just rename this. So what we're going to call this is the hero. Is the image, the image on the heroes page. All right. So next thing we do, we're going to try to grab all this, all this here on the left. So select it. So we have that selected. Here we have it. So let's click on export. So you can see we are having all of this. So here we're going to add a star to it, since it basically contains it, and we just want to do Ctrl G, and that's for us to group it. And now we have the star, and then we have the image. So we can export this, and we'll call this feature. Okay, so we're going to rename that to feature. All right, so nice, right? So we basically have a couple of other icons here though. So we have one here. Okay, you can just export that. Export icons as SVG, don't forget, so you can have a good view of it. So this one is going to be star. Okay, star underscore icon, star underscore icon. Alright, so this one is like a mesh. So export that and take it as SVG, export icon. Okay, so this is actually mesh underscore icon. Alright, so what else? So we have this one's like a box or something you call it. Right, so we're going to have that, make sure it's an SVG, then we export that to the cube, right? That's the right name for it. So this is going to be cube underscore icon. So come in here and cube underscore icon. So can refresh this again. Nice. Alright, so let's go back. And now we have all of those different shapes. That's good, right? So we can move into this other section. So we're going to select everything just like we selected before, like that. And then we select this little shape to it. Make sure you're holding on the shift button. Then select this. And then you want to just do, I think we have another one like this. Just select this and add it to it as well. And do Ctrl G to group. And now let's check it on our export plane, like a preview. Let's see if we're having everything. So we have we have everything. We have the star on the left, the one on the right, the entire image, but we do not have, oh my god, we didn't have the little shape. Yeah, we don't have that guy. Okay, so let's see if we can do that now. Ctrl G to export. Now we do. You can see the little red shape that we didn't have before, but now we do have it. So you can export that. We're going to call this advantage. Yeah, it's under Y choose image or whatever we call that. But let's see. I'll just call it by the title. Y choose. Okay. So now one other thing, what I think might be a problem is the feature image, right? So this feature image does not have the red shape at the background. So for that reason, we're going to just take it out, right, and try to recreate the image. All right. So yeah. So let's try that again. So let's have everything here selected. Okay, nice. And then I'm going to select this by holding down the shift, and then I'm just going to click that button, and I'm going to group it now. And let's go to export again. And now we can see we have everything. right? We have the little reddish background, as well as the star, as well as everything within the ring, and then the actual mockup. So we can export that quickly. And as we actually label this as feature before, we'll label it the same thing again. All right, nice. Okay, so now we have all of those. And one thing that we do not have though is a typo here. So let's fix that if we could. Oh, we need to do some font thing that I don't have currently. All right, no problem. We'll fix it in the code then. All right, so I'm going to close this out. Close out. I'm going to export this icon. This is a bell icon. So export. We're going to take that. Sorry. I'm going to take this as SVG. I'm going to just export this. So this one is the bell icon. Bell underscore icon. All right, nice. All right, so we're going to take it down here. I know we already have something of this nature, but let's see. No, it is actually a different kind of icon. All right, so let's export this guy first. Okay, and export SVG export. So this will actually be, we'll call this star circle. Okay, star circle. All right, so now let's select out all of these guys. All right, there we go. And let's make sure we are selecting this guy as well. Then Ctrl G to group and click on export. You can see we have everything, including the star at the top. Oh, we can't see the star though. Let's select that to it. Let's make sure we're selecting the star. Okay. Oh, the star somehow is on a separate layout. Oh, that's so crazy. Okay, so let's do something like this. Ctrl G and export. Now we have it. Now we have this stuff. So let's export that. And it's going to be fully customizable. So we can just rename this as customizable. Alright, so we have that. Good. We have a star shape just in case we want to use it. So export, stays as SVG. So we're going to rename this to star. Oh, we already have star icon, star single icon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab all of that. So we need this, and this, right? So yeah, I think we should be able to grab all of these as a single image. So let's like that. Good. Yeah, so we have, I think we have already a group somehow. I'm just going to move my cursor around there. Okay, so let's go to export. We see everything. All right, so that's fine. Okay, so we have those. Then export. We have everything. Okay, so we have that. We have that. Export. We have all of this. Then we'll grab that guy and do Ctrl G. Let's go to export again. So now we have everything except the star. Okay, so maybe we're going to try to bring the star in a bit. Right, so All right, so I think we were able to like select it before. All right, something like that. So Ctrl G, this should be able to bring the, yeah, this should be able to bring the star into the entire equation. And yeah, so we'll just export this. So this one is going to be testimonial. Just going to rename this to testimonial. All right, so now we can move on into all of these guys, right? So ideally we don't want to make this thing like real functional, right? So in that case we could just make it like as like a separate component, and then we render them separately, right? But in this case, in this use case, you can just grab the entire thing as one single image and use it, right? So in a real time, in a real life scenario, the production ready project, you might just want to use like Shadcn avatar for each of these things. All right, so we're going to export this as a single image, and we're going to just I'm going to put in reviewers here. Reviewers, nice. So those are actually our reviewers, which is good. And then we have the FAQ page. We have single star, which is nice. We already have those. We just have a bunch of tests everywhere. And we scroll down, close here. We basically have the Apple icon. We need to extract this as an SVG separately and go to export. I'm just going to make sure that this is an SVG. Export vector. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to call this Apple. All right, nice. And the next thing I do, we basically have stars, but this is white actually. This is like a white star. So we could use one of these stars to build this kind of component, right? So we can just grab this, but this can actually be added to all of these, but this one and this is actually separate shape though. Oh, let's see. That's interesting. Okay, so let's export. Okay, we can't really see much here, but I know this is definitely the ring shape, right? So more like, oh, there we go. So there it is. So that's the ring shape. You can see it from here, and we're going to obviously call this something, and just call it ring actually. Ring. Okay. Next, we need a standalone star. So we need this to be like an XVG. I'm going to export the vector. And here we're going to call it star underscore white underscore icon. So we're going to rename this. All right, sweet. And yeah, so now we go here, select that, we select this, select this, we select, here we select this. There's another shape by the side, we select that. Okay, so we'll group them all together. Let's click on export. Okay, so then we have something good. We don't know if the star is coming in though. That's another thing, but there's only one way to find out. Oh, not really. We still do not have the shape. We still do not have the shape somehow. So let's do. Okay, let's do Ctrl G. Let's check it out again. Oh, lots of them now are missing. Okay, let's undo all of these changes. Okay, no, good. Let's select them bit by bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so we have that shape there. We have to make sure we're selecting it. We have that. We have that. We're missing anything? We're missing out on stuffs. I don't think so. Well, let's group all of these and check it out. Oh no, now we're missing out on quite a lot of things. So yeah, we're missing the entire faces, yeah, the entire image. Okay, let's move them. Not good, not good, not good. Okay, so let's undo. Undo now. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag over the entire setup like this. Alright, so the problem with this is, I will somehow be giving this side of things, but then there's always a very cool trick to use. You can just hold down the Alt button, drag it to the right. So what you want to do here is that you just want to remove all of this because you don't need it. So also with this and then this guy. So let me over here. Now remove that guy. And what I'm going to do now, I can just reduce the frame by holding down the Alt Control button. I'm just going to drag it to close to the very end like that. Right, so here the same thing at the bottom. So we do that. And boom, you have a very good frame that you can export, right? With no worries, with nothing. So you can click on there. So you can see we're having that, but the problem now is that we are having the black background. So we can just take it, the fill, we can take the fill out of it. So that will actually just make it not black anymore, right? So this gives us what we've been struggling to achieve, but very much more readily. Right? So we have everything that we need. And if I get it correctly, if we export this now, we're going to give it a name, and that name is going to be get started. So here I'm going to just rename this to get started. So you can take this off. Alright, so yeah, that should actually give us everything that we want for the most part. Nice and clean. And also we can now do a couple of other things, right? So we already have this, we don't need to worry about this guy. We already do have it. And now we have the logo, which is what we're having at the navigation before now. So let's check it again. You can see it's the same thing. Okay, it's saying everything black. It's everything black. So nice. So we already have the logo. So one thing that I think we will need to like worry about a bit is these other icons. So this is like an email icon, an envelope icon. So make sure it's actually an SVG. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to rename this to envelope. Alright, so we have the phone icon here, so we can export that. So put it as SVG, export a vector, and we're going to call this phone, right? So we're going to call this phone. Alright, so now with that, we've actually exported all the assets that we need. And one thing that we've not done yet, you can take this off, is we need the font. What font is being used? We have to investigate that. So I'm going to select one of those. I see we are using Clash Display. That's the name of the font, right? So we have to know if it's being used, the text, everything. Okay, it's a consistent font everywhere, which is a good thing. I love it when designs stick with one font, not like multiple fonts everywhere. It's so easy to maintain. Just in case you want to change it, you can just change it in one place and you're good to go. Okay, so we have the Clash Display. So we basically need to search this. I don't know if this is part of the Google font, but we can do some quick Googling. Google font. Let's see if we have Clash Display. No, we don't. All right, so but then we can display it. We can download it from maybe Font Share, and we should be able to have something good, right? So let's say this is the font. Looks similar with this, right? So that's something so great. So this is actually you can play around with the thickness and the rest of things, right? And we don't really concerned about all of those. We want to just download the thing, right? So you have it selected like this, and we need to be able to view family. Yeah, you can download family right here, right? So this is it, and we just download it by clicking you accept to free phone license. Yes, I do accept. So I'm just going to download it right away, and as you can see, it's already downloading. It's going to take a couple of seconds maybe, and after which we're just going to resume this video. Okay, so I think we're back online, and what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to Yes, I'm just going to grab the font. It's now downloaded successfully, so I can click on here, and now we have the font here, right? So I'm just going to unzip it quickly. If you don't have like a basic unzipper like WinRAR and so on, you should get one online. It's very easy to find. And now I have the Clash display font, and I go to fonts folder. I see OTF, I see TTF, I see web. So it's very easy to go with either one of these. It's the process is actually very much the same, at least for the most part. And if you're a good like TTF fan, you should just use one. So I can just go into rename this to something that is easy, as very easy to remember. I can just say, I can call it CD, just CD. All right. So this is actually our TTF font. Right, so let's see. Sorry, did I rename that? So CD. Cannot find. Oh, it's already. I just have to refresh. All right. Okay, so now we have the font. The next thing is to bring it into our project. And I've already done this before, but let me just grab one of the boilerplate code that we're using to change the font basically. And I'm just going to go here, I think around the last project, I think. Just going to show you guys that. And this should be my global repositories, and this definitely I think is my last project, Apple upgraded. So here you can click on here. We're going to go to source, and then we'll go to app and then layout. Boom, there we go. So this is exactly how we set up the font. It's particularly straightforward. We get a local font and then we'll do all of this setup. So that's the same thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go to close my folder real quick. I have to do something else before jumping back on this. Okay, go to UI Fry, and I'm going to open code. Okay. All right. So what do we do? Go to source, go to app, go to layout, and we just want to put everything here basically. So this font is actually called the CD font. Alright, so you can do CD font right there. I'm just going to do CD font dot class name, and I can take this off of there. Right, so I think it should still work, right? So let's just use this opportunity to import, to change the title of the page is a UI Fry landing page website, like that. Cool website for Fry. Alright, something like that, yeah. So we have to import this from Next. Local font has to be imported from Next. And we'll just grab the import right here and we'll paste it in here. Alright, so for us to kind of clear out every other thing that we're not interested in, we can just take this off of there. And now we have a font, right? So fortunately for us, the kind of font that we are having as it stands now is we're just going to create a new folder here, and we're going to call this font, right? So in this font, we're just going to make sure that what we've downloaded downloads, not that one, this is zip file, that one, yeah. So this is the font that we just renamed. I think it was a TTF. Yeah, so we're going to bring this into our font folder right here, cd.ttf. So here we'll just have one font, right? So we don't need to specify width or style or anything. We can take out all of this, doesn't matter. Since we just have like a single font to coordinate the other font. So we'll do cd.otf. I love OTF fonts better, to be honest, but for now, let's just do TTF. Alright, so we have that, and now our font should basically, our app should reflect as as OTF. So I'm gonna close that out, and there we go. We're able to download our packages. We're just going to do npm I to basically start up ours. Not I, sorry. That should be npm run dev. npm I is to install your dependencies, which we've already done, and we just want to start up our dev server by running the npm run dev command. So this is going to start up the server real quick, and we're just going to be patient here a bit, and in a few seconds here we have a port, and if we go to that port right here, close out this one, Let's take this here. All right, so I think on the background is going to start to compile, right? And the compilation process takes like few seconds, right? So yeah, I'll just allow you to compile and then restart and resume the recording. All right, so good. You can see from here we already have the font family, and now we sure that it's the right font. Ideally, what you normally do is, from the looks of it, it should show you. Yeah, it should just gives you the impression. If you want to look into it more critically, you can select it. And in here, you can see we have the underscore class name underscore some numbers, right? If you click on that, and you can see that the font family is actually pointing to CD font. So that's the name we give to our font, if you remember, and that's the font that's actually been rendered. All right, I hope that makes sense. All right, so the next step will be we want to basically like build out all the relevant pieces of details that we have in here, right? So from here you can see we have navigation, we have the arrow, and so on. So um, we're going to build out a different section that we are having. So you can go to source and go to app, and here will contain everything, right? So we have the component. So component, we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call these sections. We'll create another folder. We'll call it cards. All right. So in the section we're going to be having the arrow section. All right, and wrap in our component export. There we go. So that's the first section. Second one is the feature section. So create a new file, call this feature. Okay, so we have the feature section. Next we have the advantages section. Oh, why choose us section. Alright, so I can do why choose us section. Okay, so in here we have to make sure that there are no typos. Okay. Yeah, that this and this will just be in one section. And then we have the testimonial section. Alright, and then we have the FAQ section, like that. And we have the get started. And then finally we have the footer. Okay, nice. So now that we've already like laid out all the different sections that we'll be having, good for us, right? So we have to make sure that we put them within an actual page. So in this page, we're going to remove the entire thing from here. And we're just going to create a blank main element. I want to bring everything in, just like the way we've created it. Right, so here we have the navbar. Alright, so we should be able to have others. Here we have the arrow. And then we have the features. Alright, and then we have the white choosers. choose a section. Seems to be a typo. Let's see. Okay, why choose? It looks correct to me. Not sure why autocomplete is not working. Why chooses? Oh, okay. There's nothing here. Now I see. Now I see why it's not working. So back to page, we have to make sure that this guy is imported. And what else? We have the testimonial. And all the FAQ. And get started. Finally, we have the footer. Alright, so those are every relevant pieces of sections that I've been needing throughout the entire project. And so it's very, very straightforward. So we're just going to jump in, right? So let's build out the actual navigation. So I'm going to open this up. I'm obviously going to pin this. You might actually be concerned why we have lots of code within navbar. So when you clone from the startup branch, it comes with a pre-built navigation. So with this, you can modify it to any form of design that you feel like you're comfortable with or your UI specifies, right? So this is the way we'll go about it. And then what I'm going to do here is you can see we have quite a number of links, right? We have the home, we have the about. So I'm just going to create a links here. It's going to be array. So you can make yours an array of object that contains obviously like the name and the links, right? So we're not using any specific links. I'll make it like an array of strings. It is going to be home. And then we have the about us. So next we have the pricing. Then we have the features. So those are like the 4 different navigation tabs that you find. And that's okay, that's fine. And what I'm going to do here is I have to make sure that this is pointing to our logo. I think our logo should be in SVG by the way, but let's see. So first this. Alright, so let's see SVGs. No, we have images. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are able to. Okay, images is not popping up for some reason. Oh, okay. So now we need to create an extra folder. I'm going to call it images. And we want to drag and drop everything that we've downloaded so far in our downloads folder into it, right? Except the font, by the way. We don't need that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to phrase this and do like control here. So the entire thing, I'll drag it into the images folder. Alright, so let's just try to refresh. Okay, let's refresh again. We're not seeing it. Alright, so let's see if we have anything called logo. Oh, we don't. We do, but it's actually PNG. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's do logo.png. Okay, so you can see it's looking very clean. Nice. Alright, so this is actually how I want it to be, but we have to basically start to match this kind of sizing. Then the width here is like 106. And I think this is where most of the guys mix it. Right. So whenever you're styling a logo, be very careful the way you assign like a definitive width and height to it. Because this kind of have like a very bad effect in kind of squashing the logo and making it not look making it not come out the way you expect it to. So I'm going to do here, I'm just going to specify just the width without the height. So height is just going to auto, it's going to auto detect. Okay, so let's do that now. You can see, right? So you can see basically we have a very good setup still looks very good. And just do object cover just in case we need that to function. Not sure if it does anything, but if you do something like this, let's do 40 pixel. Right, so when you start doing things like this, maybe like 10, you start, start affecting the actual look and feel of the of the logo itself, right? So you have to make sure that that is not the case at all times. Let's add the object cover here. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think this looks good already, and even small device is going to be looking very good and clean. All right. So nice, nice. Are we missing any other thing? Not sure. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want to bring out um, the different links, and the way we go about that is we use what we already have here. So we just map through this guy, and we're going to have links that map a link, obviously an index. Okay, so we want to make sure that everything within the p tag is placed in there. So we'll save this, we'll have the actual dynamic link, and we want to make sure that there's a key here, and that key has the index value. Okay, alright, so nice. So here currently we see we have this font medium, and we have 20 as a size. So let's fix that. Okay, and font medium, and we can take this one off. Text black actually, and the size 20 pixel. Okay, nice. So when you override, it's going to be bold, or when you selected. Yeah, so that's something. Over into the fonts board. Yeah, you can see right now. So when you select it, it's just going to the board like the way we're having it here. Nice. Alright, so we have to make sure we position it properly. Because as you can see, the the logo and the text are actually on one side and the buttons on the right. So what we're going to do, we're just going to move all of this, and okay, yeah, maybe we'll move all of this like this and put it here. Actually, not really. So we're going to create a new div, and it's going to have a combination of this right here, and then we're going to have the actual div. We could just make it empty, right? And we just do it like this. All right, so that is one thing. All right, so let's see, make sure that we're still on the same track. Okay, so this is let's justify between. Okay, all right, so now I see. Yeah, so whatever you were having here, we'll take it away from here. Yeah, we'll just grab the entire thing and we'll put it here, right? So, and then there. Okay, Okay, we have to make sure that this is flex. We have a gap of 8 or whatever, and then center. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's remove the eyes thing. Nice. So you can see we have a very good setup and it's well positioned. And so the next thing here, right, will be the spacing between here and here is like 24. So fix it here. So gap is like 24 actually. Extra large 24. Okay, nice. All right, so on the right side we have like a button component that looks like this. So how do we do that? So what we're going to do, you're just going to change all of this, and we already have like a pre-built main button, and we're going to customize this text, right? And we need to put in some classes. So the text here basically should read download. Let's check it out. So we have it as, let's phrase that again. Okay, nice. We have this color as primary, so we're going to change that to black, right? And then we'll make some modifications to it. So this is our main button already pre-built, and what we're going to do here is I want to change the color here to black, right? So then it should be black now, and the width seems to be too much, and the width here is like 180 by default. So we're going to go through all the different sizes that we are having. So this is the height, we need the width 180 pixel. Nice. So the roundedness on the other end is just very slight, it's like 4 pixel. And let's check it out where we're having rounded. Search for rounded. Okay, there we go. Just do 4 pixel. Nice. Yeah, good. So when you over, you have that cool primary effect, nice and clear. Right, so this is it. So with this, basically we build out the desktop version for the navigation. What's left for us to do now is to be able to build the mobile side. So we have to cater for the responsiveness. So we'll take it to a very small screen. You can see that we don't have much going on here. So what we're going to do, just going to close out on all of this. Right, close this out. And let's not disturb ourselves with a view. Let's hide the desktop icons. And I'm going to go back to the navbar. And yeah, so let's just change all of this. And in the mobile part, we have, yeah, we should have this. And so we need like an hamburger, right? So then we have like a menu icon from Lucid, one of the libraries we're using. So we have the menu icon from there, and then we can put in all of these things inside, and the classes in the on-click handler. So then we can let this go. Nice. Okay, so now here, this part, we're just going to make sure that the content that's contained there is the actual content that we're having here, right? So we can pull this guy, so put it here. Okay, all right, so we have to make sure that this guy is going in, and then we put the key there, and we use the actual link. And yeah, we don't need, do we need this? Yeah, I think we do. We have the main button thing, so we just put it here. Let's remove that comment and save to reformat it. And boom, we should be good, right? So we have a very cool setup like this. And we'll click on here. Boom, see how clean that is? With minimum effort, right? So you already have a very clean setup, right? So on desktop, you basically see that view. On mobile, you see this other view. So you can see the sizing of the logo is a little bit like scattered on the mobile side. The reason for that is because we have to be careful of the way we specify the width and the height. So I'm going to take the width off, and this is going to be very too big. All right, so I'll put it back in and obviously kind of map it to, so some rem that works. Right, let's do 9. Yes, something like that. So it looks very clean. So let's do mobile like this. All right, so yeah, you can see how clean and nice that is, even on as low as 375 width. Yeah, so this looks good. This looks very good. So yeah, nice. All right, so the next point of action would be for us to move into other areas. So I kind of feel the size for the desktop version seems to be too small, right? I don't know if we could make it a little bit bigger. Let's do a 150. Yeah, this looks good, but too big, right? Too big. Let's go back here. This looks smaller. This looks bigger. This is bigger and cleaner though, but let's see. So then I'll just do 110 or 120. So that should be cool. All right, nice. So they both have the same feel. Great. All right, I think with that we've come to the end of the very first section. So coming up now, we want to move into the hero part, right? So we can close out on all of those things. And in the hero, so we can just come in here and we're going to create some sort of spacing in between. So as you can see in mobile view, the other sections are like at the top of it and it's missing. So I'm going to do mt32 and the mt0. Let's try that out. All right, so 32 seems to be too much. Let's do 16. Okay, so 32 to 10. So 32, so sorry, 16 is like 4M. So what I would suggest we do here would be we'll do something like 7M. Alright, so 7M. Then we'll do 6 or 5M. Yeah, something like that. Nice. Alright, nice and clean. Alright, so let's go. We'll go over to the arrow. So let's build out the arrow part. So I'm gonna close out on the nav. So I'm gonna pin the arrow in here and clear out everything to the right. So as you can see, we have two big sections, and for these two sections, what we need is just like two divs, two separate divs. So change this to section, and let's grab the first div, and then we have a second div. So on the first div, there's going to be 3 different divs or paragraphs, as the case may be. So we have the first one. This one has to make the best decision. Okay. So let's make sure we type it correctly. So make the best financial decision. Nice. And we're going to have like a different peer tag. Okay, then we'll copy that and paste it in there. Alright, and then we have a separate div. So the point of this separate div actually is we just need like an actual button for it, and after that, so we can bring in our main button. Right, so we put in the text. Text here is get started, and we have some icon, right icon route. There we go. So the right icon route is actually arrow, right arrow or something. Okay, this is where shape play icon. Okay, arrow right icon. Okay, so I think that's not well. It's not properly put. It's supposed to be direction first. Right arrow icon. Yes, that sounds better. So let's close this out. And we just want to go / images / that svg. Okay, so there we go with the arrow. And the height of this button seems very different, 60 pixels. So we can go to our main button again, and in the height we just do 60 pixels. So if it's normal, we do 60 pixels. If it's small, we do this, right? So that's actually fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. And now the other thing is the spacing between the right arrow and the actual text, and also the text seems to be bold, so let's fix that. Okay, so come here with classes, font, bold. Okay, nice. The size of the font is actually 18. So we can go to main button. Okay, so main button right there. And text, right? So yeah, so here we want to make sure that the text, the size of the text. Okay, so we do the text 18 pixel, something like that. Nice. This affected the download as well, so also here. Alright, so the next thing is the spacing between here and here is like 8 pixel. So we have the right icon class. You want to do bottom left 8 pixels, so that should shift it away a bit. And boom, we have a very good looking button, right? So now let's build out this other part, the play as well as the other section. Okay, so first thing we have there is the play icon. Alright, so let's put it within the div of its own. We have /images /play_icon the svg. Want to make sure we give it an auth field and play icon. So the next thing is the text. Watch a video. Alright, so this is capital U and capital letter V. Alright, so we have to make sure we flex this out. Flex, and the gap though is 14. Gap 14 pixel. And that being said, we have to make sure that it is vertically aligned. Okay, so yeah, there we go. And the next thing we do is to structure everything, right? So here and here, space in between here and here is 40. So we can go to the parent container and do flex gap 40 pixel and flex row, flex column, and the flex one. So this to at least make it look good on mobile. Alright, so let's take it to small screen. We have this. So we have to make sure that the gap is a little bit reduced. So you can just do gap of 20 pixels, something like that. Okay, yeah, something like that looks good. Looks good. Alright, so desktop we have this kind of view. And also everything here we want to make sure when the over is going to have the cursor pointer. Alright, so when you over it, you should just have cursor pointer. Alright, nice. So now let's tie the text. Okay, so first off we have close that out, close it. Alright, so we have the first one. So this is font bold and 64. Alright, so I'm going to go in here. Font bold test 64, right? Okay, so this could be very good for maybe for medium devices upwards. You can do text maybe 35 pixels for mobile. Okay, so once to bring let it like break at this stage. So we'll add a little break thing, and so I want to refresh that one. Alright, so there we go. But then one other thing, one that is actually a potential issue is the spacing. It seems to be way too much. So I want to do, we can do leading tight. Okay, do leading tight, and boom, we have something close to okay. No, but not perfect. So we have to not make it just tight, but also reduce it, especially in. So this could be good, right? So for medium devices, we have to give that leading something nice. Let's do Tailwind. Okay, something like that. 3.3. Let's check it out. Okay, too much. Okay, looks good. Looks good, but we still have to adjust it. 3.5. Okay, actually, let's just do 4. Nice. I think from the looks of it, 4 looks very good. And the next thing is we have to style this guy here. This is actually a great test. Anyway, so let's select it. Okay, so this is just a black text, but somehow it looks grayish. Opacity is 100, so that's even weird. Let's use a different font or whatever I call it. And let's undo that. Cancel. Should be able to select this without depending on anything, right? I can see it's 0 here though. That's so misleading. Well, I think it's actually gray, so basically we have to do that ourselves. And let's do text gray. Something like this actually. Or this 300. Okay. Yeah, something like that. So the size though is actually 10. So I noticed that most of the default sizes are like 18. So I think for that you can just set it up globally. And here you should have like, okay. So every paragraph text should have like a font size of 18 pixel here. So that should just fix it for us. You don't have to be setting it everywhere. Alright, so yeah, that looks good already. So if we inspect this guy, we're going to trace it down, day 3, and we should have 18. So you can see it's actually inheriting from 18 right here. Nice. So it's a good thing to set it globally. Alright, so let's see. We want to know if there's a spacing between here, 24. Yeah, so top bottom 24. So we're going to do, okay, we're just going to do py 24 pixel. Nice. Alright, so there we go. There we go. Looking nice and clean as expected. Let's check it on mobile. We have something like this. Great. Okay, so one of the things that we should not forget in the hurry is the absolute element below it. So let's do that. Let's add it. So in here, absolute element is actually added to the text itself. So that means we have to change this text to, okay, so in here we could just have like a paragraph actually. Okay, so that means everything here we take it here. So this is going to be converted to a div. So why we're doing this is that we want to be able to have much flexibility in terms of how we display an absolute element with it. So we have relative, and what we're going to do is put an extra div, and with the extra div, we're going to add two other things, right? So let's say we have the absolute thing as an image. So we're going to do source, and at the same time we do alt, then we close it up. So this is just going to be a red shape, right? So here we can find it in images slash to images red underscore shape dot png. Right, so let's check that out. Boom, there you go. So now we want to make sure that this is actually absolutely positioned to this div. And as you know, this div only controls, it's being controlled by the content here. So here we can now do absolute, and we can do to 0, right to 0 or something. Let's check that out. Okay. Alright, so now we have to make sure is inline. Alright, so you can do inline here. The point is we don't want the absolute thing to go to off, right? So that we can be able to display. Okay, let's do bg red. Let's debug it. We've just set border. Okay, bg red 500. Let's take that off. Sweet. Oh, there we go. Now I see. So yeah, this text has to be inline actually. Let's make it inline. Inline block. Okay, so inline block. This could be an inline block actually. Yeah, so that's already having the behavior. Okay, but the problem is maybe we want this to be div at all times. So that means inline block should work. Right, so let's take this out and put it here. Nice, so it already works. So now there's actually a slight difference between inline and inline block. Inline block is very useful for a block element, but inline itself, you can use it for things like paragraphs, bounds, things that are actually non-block element, right? So yeah, use inline for cases like that. But still, if you use inline block there, it still does work. But yeah, I just prefer to say let's leave it as inline. Alright, so we don't even need it here, to be honest. We just need the actual setup. Alright, so after that, we're going to position this guy. Oh, not here actually. We're in the wrong spot. Ah, damn it. Alright, so let's come here. We have a div. We put this guy in there. We have a class. We put it there. And now we have an image. Image, we put it down there. Okay. Alright, so nice. So now I'm going to remove this. Doesn't make sense to have it anymore. Okay, so top. Okay, so we have a top. Okay, not really like this actually. In the wrong spot again. This one. Alright, so yeah, there we go. So top 0, right 0. So maybe we could do top -4, right? -5, right? 8. Alright, something like that. It's actually at the top of it actually. That's a 9, right? 10, right? That's a lot of things. Alright, so the implication is we don't need to touch it yet. There are a couple of fixes we still have to do, like the overlaying position and so on. But then while we deliberate on that, we should create this audio component so that we can align them properly. Alright, so we have the second div. I'm going to open it up so you can close this out, by the way. And then we should be able to have, we just need an image, a source, and this will be slash images slash hero.png, and the alt text is, we have the hero here, and then we can close out on this. Okay. Alright, there we go. So now we have to be able to perfectly position it. Just the space between, it's very simple. So we have flex, item center, and justify between. Okay, like that. Justify between. Nice. Right, nice. Okay, so one other addition is that we could just add a little bit of margins and so on, but for now we'll do it in the outer component, right? So but for now, let's position this stuff, let it be before the actual text. Okay, so we can come here and do -10. Let's see if that works like charm, right? So yeah, so that works. All right, so now we want to be able to give it small spacing on the right. We will just do a global spacing. I always like to position it in such a way. So now we have a closing container, so we can just do px. Okay, so px4 and the px can just be 4, right? Yeah, something like that. You know, these two aligns well with the logo, even if the design doesn't make sense that way. But yeah, so this is the structure is supposed to be. So you have the text aligning vertically with the logo, which makes sense, and then we have some other things. So now we're going to test this out on mobile. I don't think it's perfect yet, so but let's see. So we have something like this. So on mobile, we don't want to have this kind of thing. So I see it as like a liability. So we want to be able to just stack it when it's on the mobile view. So we can do flex colon gap 8 mb flex row. So let's move one of the dash. So this should be able to do it like this, which makes sense. And then let's move the absolute element. So that means on mobile, this guy is going to be hidden. So mb block. So mobile, we don't need it anymore, right? So, and also on mobile, the setup here needs to be revamped a bit. So you can just do 7. Okay, we wait for it to change. Nice. Looking good, looking good. So let's take it to, let's close that out. Good, you can see how good that is. Sweet, sweet. Looks so good already. So this is exactly how you build out something scalable, right? You don't need to, just worry about the edge cases while you're building it, so that it gets to a point you don't have to worry about those things. Okay, so I think with that, we've been able to clear out the hero section. I'm just going to build out a different section. Alright, so this one now basically has to be different. So we're going to build, so I'm thinking we could build one component for this and this, but I think this should be different. Yeah, so this should be different in a way. But most of the things, they are actually not the same. But one thing that is kind of the same to me, oh, not the same actually, we just have different sets up everywhere. Okay, yeah, so the title. So, all right, so what we're going to do, we're going to build this as a separate component, and this as one unique component that can be shared. Okay, so now let's build out the feature section. So we'll go in here, and I'm just going to close out on all of this. I'm going to pin this here, and I'm just going to do section right here. Right, so in here, it's particularly straightforward because what we have here are just two different layouts. So if we can just do a div, two divs actually. So the first div should house the actual image. I'm just going to copy one from here. There's no point of copying actually. Could have just typed it. So yes, I'll call this feature. And we'll call this feature. So next, with this is the part that we have to like build out properly. Okay, so we have the first div. So this first div basically has like features and has this tests. All right. So capital letter U and P. All right, nice. So up next, we have a separate div that takes care of the different setup that we're having here. So in here, we have an enclosing div that has like an image slash images slash, we'll call that star, I think. Star.png, sorry about that. So we should have the auth. Okay, where is the icon? And there we have the text. So the text here is just straightforward, and yeah, so it's basically straightforward. We just need to be able to map it correctly. All right. Okay, so we just do the text. So in as much as this is actually something that changes, so we just need a link to the icon, and then we need the text, and then we need the description. So it's going to be a very small reusable component, and then we'll just build it out that way, right? So yeah, so let's build it out. So let's do const data. So here we can have like the icon slash image slash star svg. Then we have the title. So the title here, oh, it's all the same. Everything is the same. Is this okay? Budget intervals. We have budget intervals, and the next thing will be the description. Okay, so this will be our description, and I'm just going to paste it in there, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate it since it appears multiple times, and we'll change the icon. So the other one is a mesh, the last one is a cube. Nice. All right, so this is what we'll now use to display, you know, the things that we're having here, right? So you can now do okay, so these are the map. Okay, there's the feature index. Let's spell this correctly. Okay, so we passed in the key there, and we can be able to manipulate all the different icons. So call it the feature icon. Okay, and next now we have the feature dot icon. So here will be feature title. All right, so yeah, so here basically has to basically need to have like a class flex and then gap of 2. All right, so and then we have description somehow though. So we have the title that you flex around. Okay, so put a div here, all of this, and this class name, and it's going to be a separate div. With featured description. So here we're going to obviously allow it to be horizontal, right? So let's give it a graph test graph 500. Okay, so there we go. Let's see how good that is. So we have to link the icons correctly. So first one is star.svg. Star underscore icon. Okay, mesh underscore icon and cube underscore icon. Okay, nice. So we have to make sure that this guy is actually bold or semi-bold. So we can come here and okay. So let's wait a bit. That's different though. So the title. Okay, so we do font semi-bold right there, and there we go. Nice. And then let's play around with the features. Okay, so come in here and text primary, and it's a 10 by default, so no worries. This is 48 actually, so you can do text black and text. Alright, so text 48 pixel. Okay, and is it bold? Yeah, it is bold. So here we can just do font to bold. Alright, so now the spacing between the actual features and what we're having here, it has to be reduced. Right, so let's see if there's a way for us to do that. Okay, so let's do that. Alright, so let's see. Seems to be way too much. And maybe we can do leading to be tight. So leading tight right there. Okay, so I think that should work. I'll make the same modifications to this one. Leading tight to both. Yeah, so the thing is, if you want to to make it too close, you can just reduce it maybe by setting negative margin, but you have to be careful. Those kind of have some farbacks. All right, so now let's add the proper spacing across the entire thing. So we have the one for budgeting intervals, but yeah, we're not getting the spacing right, so that's 32. Right, so I'm gonna come in here. I'm going to not really. I have like an including div, and we can pass in everything in as a parent. And I'm going to do class name flex column. We have gap. So the gap here is 32. Yeah, it's a pixel. So let's see how 32 will look like. Nice, right? Nice. So the spacing from here and the top is still 32, which makes sense. And I can either just put 32 here, or I can make this one 32. But I think it's okay to put it in one place. 32 pixel. Sweet. So yeah, I think this should make sense by default. And here comes the judgment day. We should be able to align this properly with the image. Right, so let's do that. So here I put in a class, put flex and flex column. So the gap here will be 8. So the gap right there is already 8. And I want to make sure that it's having flex row on the desktop view. Sweet. Okay, so now I can perform item center. Okay, as you can see, right, so it's it's in the right order, right? So once you're doing things this way, it's easy to track, just keep track of them. So I'm going to minimize this, to reduce the sizing. And you can see right here, we can see we have like a very good setup. So on mobile though, I want this image to be at the bottom, not at the top. So it's very easy. So this, we're going to have flex column reverse. This is the right word. Command column reverse, and we should be able to have something that looks like this. Nice. Just with one line, right? One line. I think this is the power of Tailwind. With one line, we are able to control the positioning of stuffs with less code. All right, nice. So right here, I can undo that. So you can see we still have the project setup. Okay, great. So this is actually font medium, by the way. So let's change that. Okay, nice. Okay, so now with that, we've actually built out the audio section, and we're done with the feature section. We just want to, build in what the one other thing that we've not taken care of. I think we have. There's actually some gap in between, so it makes sense. All right. So the other thing we want to build out the advantages section, right? So this would be the very next section, and we'll be building it, out alongside the fully customizable section, because they both are the same. Like they have the same structure and stuff like that. So let's get in there. Okay, so I can remove everything here. Not really. You can just make a copy of this. Alright, so you can close that out. I'm going to take this to the, what do we call that? White choosers, right? Okay, so that will actually be our white chooser section. Remove one of those import, then we should be good. Okay. Yeah, so now let's fix it. I see lots of things are different. So there's no point creating a reusable component for this, looking at it this way. Alright, so now we have the features. So we'll just change this to advantages. Okay, so we have to make sure it's uppercase. And was features in uppercase? I'm just curious. Yes, it was. So I'm going to go back to feature and change this to uppercase. Yeah, nice. This should change to uppercase real quick. It does. Great. And let's come back here. Right, so we're going to change the text here. Basically, what I choose. So change the text. I choose UI fry. Okay. And the next thing would be the clever notifications, right? And yeah, so now how we're going to build this out, right? So that's the first question. It's very easy. We're just going to add like an extra layer to what we've already added, and just add like a gray text or whatever. So I'm going to take this off for now. Well, not really. I need both. So I think I can put this one and this one in one place. Everything. So I need them all. Alright, so I'm just going to remove all of this. put it there. So image here is actually slash images slash, I think we have the bell icon.svg, and the text that we are having is clever notifications. So we have clever notifications, and the description is just a bunch of nonsense text. I'll paste it down here. Yeah, so let's see what we should have, right? So you can take away this data, it's not used, and yeah, so let's play around that. Let's play around this actually. Okay, for the spacing. Okay, so yeah, we see our bell coming in as expected. We just need to make sure we're doing it in center here, and the text here is 28. So the text here is 28. All right, and also the image, we can just take this down. There's no point using this style, but we can just reposition it. So here this is going to be why choose pag. Okay, and also we have to make sure that the width that we're giving to them, they are actually consuming it. So we don't need this, right? So we don't need this. Just be grid columns 1. Alright, so grid columns. So if you're using grid, so by default it's just going to make it 50% for you. Each of the container will just be at 50% and stuff like that. So not sure if we need this, by the way, but let's see. Okay, yeah, you can see grid just gives us that kind of a very good outcome, right? So yeah, so this works. I think I would extend this to the other side as well. Okay, just copy this and take it to features, and yeah, something like that. So now let's take it, put a small device. Okay, the reverse is not working as expected. Okay, so there needs to be a corresponding grid way to do it. Let's say grid column reverse, is that a thing? There isn't reverse anywhere. That's so strange. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so we have flex row reverse, flex color reverse, but there's nothing for. Okay, well, we do have direction reverse though. That's for animation. Doesn't make sense. Okay, let's try reverse. Space Y reverse. Yeah, it's just a strange thing that GUI doesn't have like a corresponding reverse. Alright, so let's search it out. There should be something out there somewhere. I'm just going to do yes, let's search for. Oh, we have the order. Does that work? Okay, so oh, okay, not really. Yeah, but it's useful for flexing grid. There could just be a corresponding. Yeah, I think someone already asked. Tristan. Someone asked. That is so good. Alright, seems to be a common problem here. I'm just going to check around. Alright. This is something I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. Just bad. Oh, the top design is way too much. Alright, so we'll stick with this approach then. Right, so it's just crazy. Oh, we'll use order. Right, so order would be too much code, which doesn't make sense from the when you think about it. Alright, so I think we could go with what we already have. Alright. And we'll take it to small screen. We still have like a very nice setup. Good. Alright, so now we can now move into the this other part of it. So it's just an extension for this one, I think. Yeah, so it's just an extension here. So I'm just going to call this the main section. So put everything here inside, but this should just be the all section. Yeah, this will be the first section. This will be the first section, and what I'm going to do below it will be the second section. Alright, so we're going to grab a copy of the entire thing and make some update, right? So what we no longer need the heading, I think. We no longer need this guy. So but what we need here is change test, and okay, we have a star. So star white actually. Star single icon, star white icon. Let's check this out. No. Alright. Okay, star circle. That's something I'm talking about. So we have the star circle. Alright, so we have the star circle. And we have a bunch of nonsense text as well. So that the implication of this is we need to put this guy on top. Okay, so here we're going to call this I'm not sure the name we gave to it. Is that testimonial? Not really. Did we export this? Let's check it out. Let's remove that one. Oh, customizable. That's the name. Oh, not that one. This one. Alright, so good. You can close that out. Close this other one out. And change the name right there. Now let's take a look at the second section again. Oh, nice. Nice. So now we have to make sure that the spacing is not too much. Alright, so remove that. So the text should be held accountable as well. Yeah, so this should be FC. Alright, nice. Alright, so we're able to build them out as expected. Something missing. Okay. Oh, we have one little star here. It's not supposed to be there. But yeah, so we'll look more into it later. But then I think with that we've come to the end of this part, right? So we just need to be able to move into the testimonials section and then build out the remaining part of this. Thank you guys. I'll sing back. Right, so we're back again, and yeah, so we just have the testimonials, the FAQ, get started, and finally footer. Alright, so let's take it one at a time. We have the testimonial page. So what we're going to do now, we have like a very dedicated component for it. So we'll name this to section. Right, and yeah, so we just basically have to say, oh, it has like an heading, it has two sides. Right, so ideally we'll be having like two divs, one for the head, the other for the content. Alright, so I think we have something similar for the head. Let's take it back. So we can use something like this for the head, but we'll position it properly. So we're going to look for where we're having like advantages and go from there. Alright, so so we can check out the feature section. We have like a corresponding component for it. Yes, so you can just grab this one here and we can put it here somewhere, and we'll just change the title. So this one will be testimonial, right, and the other one will be the text content. All right, let's close this out, please. Okay, so here's the content, and we have to type it correctly. What our users okay, so now let's check it out. So we have it. So now we don't want to keep the color, should be black, right? Shouldn't change. So we're going to face this black and we're going to center it. So this first div will be centered, right? So maybe we can take this off. It's not needed at all. And we're just going to flex it just like so. And we should be able to have this guy at the middle now. Boom, there we go. And we have to make sure that it's actually column, right? So we can do flex column, center. Okay, there we go. And we have the title just like that. And the next thing we do is this section left and the right section. I think it's very similar with this, but just a few exceptions, I would say. All right, so where we're having a fully customizable theme, let's copy that quickly. Okay, so we already know that we have like two different sections. So this is the first one, and the other one is the second one. So we're going to go back to feature where we're having like customizable theme, isn't it? Yeah, fully customizable. Let's search for that. There we go. Okay, so this is the kind of setup I think we are needing now. This one and this one. So we can grab the entire thing from here. You could just create this into a separate component if you want to. Alright, so it's not really a problem right now. Alright, and okay, there we go. Alright, I think here actually. So remove the bear icon, we don't need it. And the title here is the best financial accounting. So put it here. And then in the text itself, put it Thursday. Okay, so and then what it's next basically is we have a different content here. The div will still has a div, and it's just an image, and then finally we have like a paragraph, and that's actually John's. We have to make sure that this is bold, so we're gonna give it font bold, and this is already gray, so that's fine. This is what it is, and then we should be able to have the content, right? So the actual image. So we could grab something like this and just put it here. So the image here, though, we'll just call it testimonial. Right, so we'll update the auth to be testimonial, and we already have the entire thing here, so this can actually be uppercase. All right, so yeah, let's see what we have. It's not going to be perfect yet. Boom, we already have a very good setup. So the spacing top and bottom seems to be way too off, so let's fix that. Okay, so before we fix that, let's bring our image in, right? So we're putting our image in here, and I think we have like a name for it, reviewers or something similar. Reviewers, that's correct. And we're just going to change this to reviewers a png, and we're going to check it out again. You can see our reviewers is coming in. We have to reduce the spacing though between here and here is just 24. And so what we're going to do is a gap 32. I don't know why we need a gap there actually. We don't need all of this. We can take away all of this class. And yeah, exactly. So that means we have to play around with this guy, and we can just do my 24 pixel. Alright, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So the same thing with the Nick Jones. I believe that the distance between here and here will still be around 24. Here it is. Okay, so we can target the Nick Jones and just do my top 24 pixel. Okay, nice and clean. Alright, one other thing is the way we structure, and we could just use grid as usual, and we'll take it here and put it in the actual section right here actually. So we'll actually define a class and put it right in there. Okay, so boom, there we go. You can see we basically have our other section right there, and this is good, looking good as you expect it to be. All right, so we're going to check it out on mobile. It's already responsive because we're using the same setup from the other side, right? So one other thing I will do is the structure. Okay, so there's something I think we'll have to change. The fully customizable should do reverse on the, yeah, should do reverse on smaller screens, right? So let's check it out. Let's move this first. Okay, that's strange. Okay, so this one is under fully customizable. Okay, so this is it. And we want to do reverse. Oh, I see. We have to reverse it. So we can do, we have two sections already, right? And this is the first one and this is the second one. Oh, now I see. Okay, customizable and whatever. So we can do order one and the order two. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And actually it's going to be so in medium devices upwards is going to be in the first order, while smaller devices is going to be in the second order, right? So the same thing will happen here. So this one will be in order one, and if it's here, it does order two. Let's check that out now. Boom, there we go. You can see that that is coming up as expected. So the implication is when we are on the desktop screen, it has a different ordering, right? So, but when you're on, like a mobile device, it basically has its own separate thing, right? So yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, so let's minimize that. So we can close this out of the way so we can keep track properly, and also we can close this out. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're just going to build out the order section, right? So let's go in here. So from here we have the FAQ, right? So we need the title and then we need the actual component, right? So let's do that. Alright, so this one is actually the FAQ. So we can grab the title from here. Let's go to FAQ section real quick. So rename this to section, and we're just going to grab the kind of divs that we'll be needing. And we have the first one, and then we have the second one. So the first one is obviously the title, and what we need here is just the default FAQ, and then the text is actually primary, and then the question, you can grab the text there and you can put a question here. Frequently asked questions, asked questions, something like that. Okay, so let's see if that is coming out as expected. Okay, so there's actually a twist to this. It is not aligned to the center, right? So we just make it justify start. It's already having that by default, so I can take that off. Okay, isn't it? Maybe, oh, it's actually on a column scale, so we can take off the entire thing actually. Alright, good. Alright, so here we want to build out this side. This one is a little bit tricky, but it's fine. So we'll build it out as like a component. And what we're going to do though is we're going to close Alright, so we'll continue. We just need to build like an FAQ code. And so the setup basically is we can build out a kind of a card system for it. So we're going to call it the FAQ card. Alright, .csx. Alright, so here it's going to contain quite a couple of things, right? So it could be background style, and so on. But then I think we can declare the interface, and the way the interface will go will just be like the iProps. Alright, so we have it's going to take the background actually. The text basically has its own color. Alright, that's fine. So it's going to take the background color. So this is going to be string, right? And then it takes the title and string as well, and takes the description out of string. Alright, so then we basically have to put a type there. So type can actually be white or black. So text color, something like that. Text color. Okay. Text color type, something like that. So here we can just do white, alright, or black. Nice. So I think those are all the things that we'll be needing, and those will be the iProps. Alright, so we'll do background color, we'll do title, we'll do description, and then we'll do the text color type. Alright, so here we're going to have the default background, and then we're just going to have like two texts basically. Alright, so now what will be contained here will be the title, and what will be contained in the second part will be the description. Alright, so we need to figure out the spacing between here and here. It's just 8 pixels. Flex. Gap 8 to gap 2. Okay, so that's actually 8 pixels. Alright, nice. So now we're good, at least. And we need to be able to figure out the spacing around it, 31. So we're going to do P 31 pixel. Alright, and boom, that's all we need, right? So we just need to be able to, so I'm going to use the Tailwind utility here, Scene utility. So whenever you basically start up a new React or Next app with Tailwind, whatever, you're going to have like the Scene utility by default. And this Scene utility can be used to obviously map different classes and just pass them like, I wanted to say a list of classes, but just strings of different class names. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we can check the text color type. So if text color type is actually equal to white, so you can just do FFF there. Yes, we're going to make it black, right? So yeah, so that's the first one. And then background color is something that we can put in here as well. So yeah, you can copy that one out and we'll wrap it around the scene utility. And yeah, so here we can do background color. You can just give common here, so background color. Alright, so it's going to be like BG whatever. Okay, we will just do background color type, right? So or background type, yeah, and I go with that. Text type, then background type is fine. What background color type? It sounds good. Alright, so it's going to basically have the same thing as this. Okay, so this is what I think, right? So we don't even need this actually. We just need like the test color type. And the test color type or the type is just okay. We can take this off as well. So you can use this to basically control it from one side of things instead of doing it in multiple places. So if the test is actually equal to white, we want to do BG and BG primary, right? S we want to do BG white. So yeah, this is actually a very cool reusable components that we can use, right? And that's all we need, right? For the most part. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make sure that we are setting in the right thing in the right place, right? So how we go about this is particularly critical, and we first of all just need to define our data. So we have our data. There's going to be an array of strings, and we're going to just have similar things that we have in here, like this. So we'll paste it right in here. So our strings, we'll change it to what we want, and we can just do. So we have white, and then we have black. So we do white first, later we'll do black. Okay. So the title here is Best Financial Accounting App Ever. So that'll be our title. And I need to define this correctly. Okay, so these are all caps. I don't know if there is actually a Tailwind utility to capitalize the first letter of each sentence, of each word, I think. Yeah. Okay, so we'll grab the entire text right there and we put it here, I think. All right, nice. So this is something that we'll be having. We'll just alternate between it and it will be easy. So we're going to go on and duplicate this into 6 places, 5 more places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's 6 in total. And what we can now do is we can alternate between here. You can just hold down your Alt button. So I'm selecting the first white. Holding down the Alt button, I'll select this one and I'll select this one. Alright, so this will actually be black. So white, black. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so it's actually white, black, black, white. Oh, see. Okay, white, black, black, white. Then white again, and then black. Alright, that's some crazy setup right there. Alright, so we can map through our different data. We can do data with map. And we want to do the FAQ right there, and then we specify our index. Alright, so what I'm going to bring in here is going to be the FAQ code, and I'm going to put the key in here. I'll pass in the index, and we'll just spread through the FAQ. Alright, so let's see if this matches. Then we have to import the FAQ code. Okay, so let's over. Okay, so the type string is not assignable to white or black, so we can just do this. Okay, so this type actually is string. Okay, so except maybe we basically have to define the upper class for this. Yeah, so here we have to make sure that it's actually consuming this guy. We could have easily just exported this, or I'm going to take that to, I'm going to have like a universal tab, index.d.cs. I'm going to just put that in there. So I don't have to export it, so I have a direct access to it, which is a good thing. So in that case, we have to name it properly so it doesn't conflict with other props. Okay, so put that in there and we place it in here. All right, so the same thing is what we're going to put in here. So it's going to be iFacCard props array. So when you over here, we've declared it to this type. Okay, so you can see that it's now pointing to the white or black. Nice. All right, so let's check what we've cooked so far. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and now we can see our setup. Okay. So somehow it seems that it's a bit messed up. So let's see what's going on there. So the text, if the text is white, if the type is actually white, this, yeah, is that supposed to be good? Oh, same thing for description actually, not just the title. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the same thing here. Okay. Alright, so there we go. But somehow the text is not pointing to white. Okay, so let's say for example the first one is white. I'm expecting BG this, which is fine. And I'm expecting this white text for the title. Oh, okay, I see. Now I see. So we're missing the text white here. Yeah. Alright, the text white. So here we actually just be text black. Okay, nice and decent. Let's see, we have some border radius 8 pixel. Alright, so we're going to just do border. Oh, rounded actually. Alright, so we have rounded right there. And we have to make sure the title is actually bold, just like this. Right, so semi-bold and it's 28. Okay, so the title has to be so it has to be semi-bold and then 28. So font semi-bold text 28 pixel. Okay, nice. Okay, so you can see we're having what we want. And the final touch. So the final touch to this masterpiece would be, first of all, we have to space it 40 pixel between here and the title. So let's put it there. Okay, so I think I should just make this, pass it to one side of things and open this on this other side. So I don't know if we have to, just two sides basically. Yeah, something like that. So this side on the other end would be the second guy here. Alright, so that's actually more convenient. So what we're going to do now is we want to be able to push this down a bit. So margin bottom will be 40 pixel. Alright, and also we have to be able to play around with the content here. Right, so the content here, we're going to use grid. It's best to use grid for stuff like this. Grid columns 1 MD just to go to, so gap can actually just be it for now. Okay, boom, there we go. So with just few lines, we're able to, achieve this kind of cool setup. So we can do it like this by enlarging it to a bigger screen, so you can see we have exactly what we are having on the design. Yeah, so this is actually a very good one, and we can minimize this again around here. Smooth, nice. All right, so I think we've been able to build out this section. The only thing though is the spacing, so we'll take care of that before the end of the lesson, the vertical spacing in between. All right, so there we go. So now we want to build out the get started side of things, and the way we go about that is we can just come in here. You can go about get started section, and I'm just going to clear out the other screens. In here, I'll rename this to section, and now we have like two different things, right? So I was thinking I could use what we're having on here for it, here, but obviously just change the colors and stuff. Yeah, so I think we can. It's almost the same thing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build that, and so let's grab this, so you can just make, okay, so we can grab everything from here, well, not everything, we'll remove the ones we do not need though, but let's say, okay, so we have to import the main button, so scroll all the way down. Alright, so what we have here is we have download app. So the images that we're having there is actually apple_icon. That's the way we label it, just apple. Okay, apple, no icon. Okay, so the background here is white. So we can do BG white. Alright, so let's see what we have so far. So BG white. So it's going to be on a black background. So rounded is 8. Alright, so rounded is 8 right there. And we can see this thing is coming in as expected, and we have to make sure that the text is black. Okay, and also there's actually good room for padding, so padding X, let's do 4. Okay, that doesn't do anything really. It doesn't. Here, that means for some reason it doesn't do as expected. Okay, or maybe we can do right 4 here. No. Alright, I will just increase the width altogether, but I don't want to touch that. Let's see the width we are using here. 208. So it's boom, we have what we need. Okay, so that's good, and we just need to make sure that the text are just like white, and the text here is white. Okay, so the text that we're having here, we can easily just paste it here. So ready to get started. Then we have a description, you can put it down there. Okay, so we can take this one off because we do not need it. And let's check again. Okay, so the size of this guy is 48. Alright, so it looks better already. And the spacing seems to be way too much, so we have to reduce that. So let's see. Let's see what we're having. Okay. Let's do it. So remove those patterns. Maybe we could just do a padding bottom like 4. Yeah, something like that looks closer. Okay. So now we have a shape to show to the right. Alright, so we have a shape to show to the right. And I'm just going to make sure we put these in a separate div of its own. So put it right here. And we scroll down to the bottom. We have this kind of setup. And we don't really care about the red shape, but we need this device, so we need to be able to track it down. We have the ring already, and we have get started. So we'll do get started. So we can do group iPhone mockup. So we can do flex justify between, boom, there we go. So you can easily use that to control what we're having. And also we have to make sure that this guy is actually at the center. We want to do item center. Nice. And also we have to give to it some patterns. Alright. So as you can see here, the spacing between here and the side itself is 7, and we can do it here. So this pattern left can just be 4 in small devices, while in big devices we can do pattern left 77 pixel, isn't it? Yes, we can. Okay, nice. Nice. You can see we just do 4 for small screens, and that'll make it come up properly as expected. Right. So, and also that's why I don't like giving width to this. Right. So I could just do take this off. I can do MD. The width can be this. So if it's a small devices, we'll just do with 4 actually. Nice. Let's see if it's come up like that. Not coming up though as expected. That's weird. Okay. Okay. Oh, full will make you turn it to something like this. Okay, so that means we have to reduce this. So maybe 100 pixel. 200. Okay, so what's not the point? We can just use 200 already. So it shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, so the title we might actually reduce it a bit to maybe around 25. Alright, so let's fix the padding thing. And so the padding between here and maybe the bottom is very tiny, like 24. So we can only just do it for this guy, right? So 24 pixel. Alright, so yeah, I think basically we have everything that we need except the title. So I feel the leading is way too off. It's too much. And the 3, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that seems about right. So button 12 can be 2. Nice. Okay, so that is good. Not bad at all. So we have the setup like that. And we have to be able to position this shape and the ring alongside it. Let's not forget that. But this is actually will be for the desktop version actually. Okay, so let's position that. Okay, so in here we're going to have like one export div. I'm just going to have like an image, source, define our auth, and so on. So this would be a ring, and this would be slash images slash, and we have the ring.png. Okay, so that's the ring right there. So we have to make sure we position it at the very end of it. We really can actually debug this on a larger screen because we'll be removing it from smaller devices. So I'm just going to make sure that this parent is relative. So you can declare there's an absolute element to that parent. So we have left 0 and bottom 0. Okay, so we have something that looks like this. Nice. The only problem though is we're going to first of all do reading and the block. The only problem I see though is that this line is overlaying on the image, on the button. So this will make the button relatively unclickable, which is not the behavior we want. So we have to make sure that it stays below the button and not above it. So what we can do is that we can come in here and just specify -z10. That should be able to do the job, at least for the most part. So it doesn't. So in cases like this, we can make some other adjustment. All right, so that's because it is not in the same view as the button, right? So they are in the same. What I meant to say that they are both on the same setup. So that means we have to bring these outside of where we're having the button, I think. Okay, outside the button. Okay, so let's do that. So let's do Z10 here. Let's check that out. Boom, there we go. So we're able to simply overlay the button on top of the actual text, right? So nice. So now we need a way to bring in the red shape on top somewhere. So the way we go about that is we want to position it here, somewhere around here. So this is going to be very straightforward. We're just going to grab the red. Well, actually, we don't want to paste it here. So we can take this to the very end of this, and we're going to paste it there. So it's going to be absolutely positioned, and the top is just going to be maybe minus 4 or something. Okay, so left 0, and we want to show it out. Yeah, something like that. So top here and minus 8 rem. Let's try that out. Okay, understand could work better. Okay, so top 8 rem or 12 rem. Okay. So the next thing would be, yeah, so we have to do the positioning. So let's go to a page. We have to make sure that we flex in this flex column, and gap is going to be, let's check the gap between one component and the other is like 155. All right, so this will be for medium devices. We can just do gap 16 for small devices. Something like that. Okay, so yeah, there we go. And also we need to hit like way off. All right, so let's check that out again. Okay, so 12, 15 rem. Okay, so left 12 rem. Okay, so the thing with this is going to stay on top of it. So we're just going to make sure we modify the z index, z minus 10. So this should put this guy above it, but somehow it doesn't. Okay. Z minus 10 doesn't place it. Oh, okay. So let's do, because we already have one that is minus 10, which is that one. And let's do minus 20. Okay. This is Z10. This C minus 20 should work. Oh, okay. So that's so bad. Not that one. Targeting the wrong element. Yeah, it should be this one, I think. Yeah, it is actually. Whoa, no. So let's get started. I'm not sure why it's not populating as expected. So it's overlaying on it. And that's strange. Okay, so let's investigate this more. So here we're having the top minus of children, left minus 12, and then we have this. So this, let's take this off and see. Taking that off works. Well, that kind of break the flow for this guy. Okay. So taking it out actually works. But why does it work though? So it works for an item here. Not good, not good. Okay, so we can take this and put it here. That's one thing we can do. Oh, okay. This is because everything has been tied around it, right? So that's the reason why. So ideally, what I could do is to put it right on top of it. Right, shouldn't be a problem at all. So I'm just going to take this guy and put it on top of this section. So we're going to create an actual wrapper, and we'll call it section, by the way. And we'll put everything here inside, so this will now be a div. Okay, so let's try out if this works. Exactly. So now, but now we need the red shadow to be, to be on top of this guy. And there we go. And we just need to use, position the way we want, right? So we can do, alright, so my bottom can actually just be negative. We can do -8, okay, or -12, okay, something like that. Flex, and justify start. -8, right? Something like that. Let's see if we're having troubles on like medium-sized devices. No, we're not. Nice. So we have to position it properly. And let's try 12. Okay, something like that. Something like that. So margin bottom can be 14. Yeah, something along those lines. Nice. Right, so yeah, I think that makes sense. So in small screens, we can just, I think it's already taken out. So it's already taken off. Nice. So yeah, so I think this is basically how you go about building a reusable component, right? And very clean separate components that you can have around. And lastly, we need to be able to set up our footer. And the way we go about that is we're going to go to, so we can close out all of this. And we're going to open up the footer section. We're going to change this to section real quick. And so, and once that is done, we have to determine this, right? So we just need all this kind of setup. And for us to be fast with this notation, you can just put that aside. So this is what we want to build. So what is needed is we need the links, right? So let's do that. Now so data. So this is going to be an object of different categories. So group 1 is going to be an array of 1. So ideally, you want to make this like an array of objects that contains like the path title or the path name and as well as the path link. But for now, we're not routing it to anywhere, so we'll just use strings. Okay, so we have all, we have about us, then we have the bookings, and what else? We have the blog. Okay, so that's good for group 1. So group 2, we have the terms of use, and then we have like the privacy policy, and then we have the cookie policy. Okay, so group 3 will be to take it all. Take it all. Then we have the live chat. And then we have the reviews. Alright. And also we have some other one, just like SaaS whatever. So that's straightforward. So these are the things that we'll be using to navigate. So here we have different sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. 5 different sections, and we're going to build them out separately. Right, so and also we need the separator, and then we have the text. So we're going to put the text right here, and then the separator around here. So to be able to use the separator, we need to import it from Shadcn. So you can go over to the Shadcn library and just search for separator. But this will give you a very cool separator. And I'm just going to copy this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just create a new instance of this terminal, and I'm just going to new console dialog. So we have it here. So I'm just going to paste in that command, and it's going to try to install the separator for us. It's going to take a couple of seconds, but then it's going to install it. Alright, so while that is actually happening in the background, I can go on and work on other things important. So we need to bring the logo in here. img, we need the source, we need the alt and logo. Yeah, so here we can do /images /logo .png, and also we have paragraph here. Not really paragraph, we need it as a div. So this div basically have like an icon, like in an SVG form, and So this one will be the envelope. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so we have the envelope.svg. We have email icon. Or envelope icon. I don't know what you want to call that. And then we have the actual text. So this one is taking the support. Capital letter A, then capital letter F, then capital letter C. Alright, so we're going to do something like this that's a little bit similar. First item center and gap will be 2. Now let's see what we've done so far. Okay, so we have it. Nice. So the width of this logo here is like 117. Okay, sweet. And we can now do something that say more. So the cover doesn't have much effect though, but it's fine. Let's have that there. And the next thing is we want to be able to, what's the size of this guy? It's actually 16. Alright, so that means text block text 16 pixel. Alright, so is this semi-bold? Oh, it's medium, so we can do font medium. Nice. So we'll do the same thing for the core icon. So we just copy like this and we'll put it here. This one will be for the core. So grab the phone number and so the other one has to be the phone, right? So we already have phone.svg, so that should work by default. So the spacing though is 16. Okay, so the same thing here. Okay, nice. And yeah, so that's basically it for this first section. That's everything that we're having there. And the next thing we do is we want to build out the different links, right? So we're going to go over there by using one of the divs, and we're just going to be data. So we're going to first of all have like a title, right? So this one will just be links. So the text is 32, font medium, and so on. Alright. So this could be good for medium devices actually. So you can do the text. Something like 18 pixels. So that should work. And also we have the font is medium and 32. Alright, so that's fine. And the next thing we do is we want to grab the entire item. So loop through the data, the group one, map, can do a link like this, pass in the index, and we just want to use a normal p tag. So, or you can just use links like this. So you can import this from next link or next router, whatever. Alright, so So it actually comes with the router as well. We have it here router done, but it's okay. Let's use it like this first. href. It just points to the same page for now, and I want to make sure that the key is index, and we have the link, right? The actual link name. So we have a title, link. All right. I'm not sure about this one, but let's see. I'm curious. Let's see if it works. I haven't used it like this before, but let's see. Oh, interesting. I love it. Well, I don't love it. I can't see anything. So it doesn't work then. No, it doesn't. Can't find anything. Okay, so that means we can do it like this. Obviously, we have to wrap it into the link. Alright, so like an actual provider or something. Okay, so it's going to reload now. Okay, so there we go with our different setup pointing to the main route. Nice. Okay, so we need to make sure that this is actually on a block scope, and we'll do flex scroll. So gap here is 16, so you can just zoom gap of 4, and the font is medium and so on. So we can do we can do font medium. Or make sure that all of them are like inline, whatever, inline flex. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that means when you override it, it doesn't like extend to you over and off what you should have. So this looks good and better. And also one more thing is the spacing here is actually okay. Let's do MT4 for now. Okay, smooth. All right, so this is actually what we'll be replacing the other ones with, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it in here and pasting it into like 4 more times, and we're going to fix it into, so we have group 1, this will be group 2, what's the title of group 2, Lego. This one will be group 3, what's the title, product, and finally we'll be having the newsletter. Okay, so newsletter, can take this one off my priority, and here we just have like stay up to date, or whatever I call it. Date, and let's take this out. Oh, we have a div here. So this will actually house our separator from. So if you're using Shadcn, you have to be careful about things like this, right? In my own honest opinion, it's actually due to the way Shadcn is tapping directly to Radius UI to get this component. So I think Shadcn could have used like a prefix like Shadcn separator or something, so you don't run into issues like this, right? So if you import this, you're going to obviously run into some errors, but rather you have to import the one you installed, and any component you install from Shadcn is being placed within the UI folder. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so we have this separator, and then we want to maybe change the color of it. So let's see if we can do that. Pick the color. Oh, it's actually a linear stroke, so we'll not bother doing all of those, but let's see. So the bottom line is we want to make sure that it's coming in, and it's already coming in as expected, and it's 1 pixel as default. Okay, so here we can just do test center. Okay, and font medium. Okay, so here we go, and we have the news letter. We have it still up to date. All right, so now we have to build out. We have to build out the other one, and then that is this guy. Okay, so we're going to create this into a separate div, and we need some input component. So we need to import like an input from Shadcn. Let's see if we already have one, by the way. Lower that. We're going to install an input, and we can grab it from here and obviously paste it in here. No, we just need an input. Okay, so that will install on the background, and I'm just going to bring in the import right here and put it in here. So that will be the input, and the placeholder is your mail. So we need our button, and yeah, we use the main button. So we'll just use the one from the hero section. That looks more reasonable. Okay, so you have to make sure we're importing this, and the text here is subscribed. Subscribe. Okay, we don't have any icons. Can take those off. So we have the flag, it's in the center. Okay, just like that. Right, so let's see. Obviously, we need to increase the height of the borders to obviously match that of the button, right? And then we'll take it off. So you're going to do plus here. Height is going to be, let's inspect this button real quick. So the height of this button is like 60. So let's make the input 60. Okay, somewhere around there. And we want to see if we can take it with the border. Border no outline. No. Okay, something like that. Nice. Okay, outline is always good so for you to know if it's selected. So that means I have to make this like 58 or something. Or 55. Yeah, 50 would be a perfect match. Sweet. Alright, so that's something I needed. And we just do a gap of say 4. Nice, nice and clean. All right, so now we need to take it away from the top, and we can just do into 4. Okay, nice. All right, so now for this little, oh, okay, so I guess that's fine. That's fine too. Okay, so the spacing here and here seems to be way bigger than expected. So we're going to do MT92 MB39. Okay, yeah, something like that. Okay, so the other thing is that in a mobile device, we're going to break this into columns. So let's just fix that. Okay, so we can do mobile, we have it broken down, and so we can make this like this. Okay, all right, so now we want to talk about positioning, right? So we want to be able to position all of this different setup. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So remove this crazy things. Okay, so let's play around with that. You can see it's a little bit more better, right, with the links and all. But though one thing I did notice is, okay, good, not a problem. So we have to make sure this guy is actually different from this arrangement. Okay, nice. So now they are all squashed to the left. We have to make sure that we are controlling it from a greater plus. So I'll justify between. Nice. So that should be able to keep it, in the right proportion. And also, when we'll check it out on mobile, we have a very good setup, right? Right? Here we do. They can just enter their email here. Good, boom. So margin bottom seems to be off, so we have to fix that. Distance between here and maybe the bottom is like 80 pixel. All right, so you can come in here into margin bottom 80 pixel. Nice. Okay, so now that we are there, we've actually built out the entire different setup. So now let's check it out on mobile to make sure everything still looks good as expected. Okay, looking nice and clean, very sharp. Boom, there we go. All right, so that's basically it. And so with this, we've actually come to the end of this lesson, and I hope you guys basically enjoyed it. So now what I'm going to do before we round off is I'm going to just deploy it in Vercel, and yeah, so that should be cool. It's very easy. So I'm going to come in here and obviously make sure that anything I'm looping over basically has like key index, right? So I have to push this to to the main branch. Okay, so I'm just commit that real quick. Okay, single changes. Alright, so that should sync in a couple of seconds and we should be good. So it is on now. So we're going to go to Excel. Okay, I'm going to continue with my GitHub. And you need to have like a GitHub account, by the way, if you want to deploy. Alright, it's easier, it's quicker. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. You can see we have the add button, and I'm going to click on project. Okay, click on here, click on project. So I'll just think I'll allow it to load. It's still loading. Oh, there we go. So now we have the UI file, and we just updated it just now, and we can click on the import button, and we want the name to be as is UI file good, and then we just click on this deploy, right? So this will actually start spin up the deployment pipeline, and we can actually click on here to view the different operations if it's still working as expected. But normally things I recommend for you guys to always try out is before you do anything, you want to make sure before you deploy, you want to just run build, right? So you can do something like run build. Make sure that your app is actually building as expected, right? So we're going to come in here. So it's still generating. Let's check our building. So it's still trying to run it locally. So this is what is being run here, by the way. So you can see it's generated successfully and build is completed, right? So we already have it in the next static or whatever. So deployment is completed. It's going to trigger a new pipeline, try to do some upload, and then it's going to move into this other stage. So for that to already work remotely, so that means it's when I run like this, it's going to work regardless. Okay, so put both of them there. Okay, so it's still creating as needed. All right, so let's keep checking that. Okay, are we done with this one? Okay, so yeah, it's done. It's done. So I can click on download dashboard. So now I should have a very unique link to access it. So I have this one. So I can click on it. Boom, there we go. Our app is live on that particular URL. And we'll just wait for it to obviously load up. And while we're doing that, we can keep checking our setup here. So you can see that everything is actually well uploaded. So you can see now we basically have like a static website. So nothing is actually dynamic here because this is actually represented by, we just have like one page and it's actually on this route. And this cycle means that it's a static cycle, you're not doing some of dynamic rendering or anything that you have to basically like communicate with an external provider or something. All right, so everything is just basically static. Okay, so now we can actually scroll. Boom, there we go. I think with this, we've come to the end of this section. Thank you guys for joining in and catch you on the next one. Peace.